It was like such a cool pairing of the two worlds of the Jurassic Park, original trio with now the new age Jurassic World cast. I don't remember how it did like ratings wise with not clerks, movie critics. Um, Honestly, between you and me and whoever, fuck, don't listen to the movie critics, don't listen to the reviews. Let's be less critical in life, I think, because I've noticed that people in general are so like they're like people are enjoying things less, I feel like, because for some reason our brains are going right to like everyone's a critic, everyone's a journalist, everyone's got to get the scoop. If you're not first, you're last. You have to have all the likes. You have to be the first one to post something on TikTok or Instagram or whatever it may be. I don't know, but everyone's got that journalistic mindset. It was good at like when it was just like no, I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like people are enjoying things less and are more critical. And I think it's like just not as fun, right? Like it can't be fun, and you, I don't know. I feel like we just need to open ourselves up more and be vulnerable and care less if our opinions are different than others. As far as what we enjoy. We don't want to be told that we're going to enjoy something. We don't want to be told what to enjoy, shall I say. That's what I meant to say. We don't want to be told what to enjoy. We just want to be, have the options to choose ourselves, right? But then there comes like I know for me, it's like if someone says like, oh, did you like that movie? I'll be like, oh, no, what did you think? Like I'll be like, they'll ask me, but then I'll turn around and ask them first because I want to hear what they said first, and then my answer will then dictate what they said. So if they're like, if I hated the movie but they loved it, then I'd be like, oh yeah, I liked it. I'll find, you know what I mean, because I don't want to have an opposing opinion, and that startled me because I started thinking about that. I was just like, wait, what am I doing? Why am I editing my personal opinion? Just because it's contradictory to someone else. Especially when it has, it's not just say it's just this or only that, but I mean this is just about movies. This is not like something very serious. It's entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. You either like it or you don't. No big deal. But I think we've come to this point in society where having a different of opinion is dangerous, because the mainstream media for years now, have been like kind of like telling us how to think or how to feel, as far as, like brainwashing us almost with these articles and just I don't even know. And fuck, I had a point. Oh no, I lost it. Shit. No, get it back. Come on, baby. Alright, so let me think of this. Let me Harry the Spy this real quick. Hold on. Fuck, I lost it. No! Shit, I was saying something. But yeah, anyways, so... Oh yeah, opinions. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to figure out ways to work through with other people, either that we know or don't know, how to get through differing opinions. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to talk. That's all I want to say about that. Is we have to figure out ways, someone does, on how we can talk more about certain things without getting so upset. Because a lot of people get upset, very quick. Anyways, so to get more back onto like the entertainment aspect, I wanted to talk about some TV shows and movies that I watch. So right now, I'm watching some TV shows, and I'll go ahead and read off the list of all the shows that I'm currently watching and I'm up to date on. All right, so it goes 911, 911 Lone Star, Fire Country, Penn and Teller Fool Us, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, SNL, Next Level Chef, Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares, Amazing Race, Survivor, Beast Games, The Floor, Celebrity Jeopardy, Pawn Stars, The Masked Singer, The Rookie, The Irrational, Doc, Deal or No Deal Island, FBI, FBI International, FBI Most Wanted, The Hunting Party, Celebrity IOU, Extracted, The Americas, Tracker, Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Suits, LA, Watson, Matlock, The Joe Schmo Show, Impractical Jokers, Dr. Odyssey, Found, American Idol, Rescue High Surf, NCIS Origins, The Neighborhood, Shifting Gears, Going Dutch, Young Dexter, Silo, Shrinking, American Primeval, Paradise, Severance, Reacher, White Lotus, all Star Wars TV shows, all Marvel TV shows, No Good Deed, The Night Agent, The Recruit, Kunk on Earth, Man on the Inside, Virgin River, Everybody's Live with John Mulaney, Long Bright River, Yellowstone, The Traitors, Ted, High Potential, and Daredevil. So, yeah, that's just a few of the TV shows I'm watching right now. And, some of you might be thinking, I haven't seen that many TV shows in my entire life, let alone, what you're doing. Meaning me, what I'm doing. Yeah, so no, I just like to watch TV. It's one of my hobbies, So yes, I am currently watching every single one of those TV shows I just mentioned. I can tell you each one in high detail up to the most current episode. And then as far as movies go, there's just too many to name, Let me just say all of them. I have the Regal Unlimited Movie Pass, so sometimes I'll go see 3 movies in one day. And then for the large popcorn and the large drink, because I paid $50 up front, every time I order one, I get half off. So it's only like $10, and then it's free refills for all day. So that's how I'm able to see, all these movies. Oh my gosh, I've seen pretty much every single movie in theaters right now. And as a person who's able to kind of step outside of himself, now I can't do this all the time, but it's helpful when I do it. So if you ever want to try it, I don't know how you would do it, but I just kind of shut my eyes, and if I'm listening to music or TV, I turn it off. I turn it down real low. The lights on or off don't matter really. If you have a belt, unclasp it. Because you don't want it too tight around the mid-waist, or just your waist, depending on where you wear your pants. Like me personally, I have a high waist, I have a regular waist, but I wear my pants above the waist. So, I think that's what you call it. But you just want to get comfortable is kind of what I'm trying to say. And then you look at your life and you say, all right, I'm doing all of these things, or all of these things are happening, or I watch all of these TV shows and all of these movies, right? And then the big question is you have to ask yourself why, Why? Who, what, where, and why? Well, mainly for me, though, is why. Like, why is it that I watch all these TV shows? And then, once you ask yourself that question, then you can kind of figure out, like, oh shit, maybe, it's like, I'm trying to escape reality. Or maybe the amount of TV shows and movies I've watched since I quit drinking has gone up, Now, I've lost weight. Like, I was talking about how I'm the obese. Yeah, that's true, I am. But I used to be the ultra obese. Like obese brother. Obese women. You know what I mean? Like, for real. But then, I lost like 130 pounds, over like a year and a half. And that was just by counting calories, I don't like exercise, but I heard it's good for you. So I recommend it. My cousin has been getting on my case about doing some supplemental work. AG1. Um, I don't know anything about it, but I'm gonna look into it. We'll see. I've never been one to take. I don't like to take I don't like medications that you take daily or that you become reliant upon. Which is funny because, or not funny, but it's just something. Anyways, and I've been like that ever since I was a kid. I remember growing up in New York. So I used to have like this childhood epilepsy, right? But it would only happen where Edgar Allan Poe used to live, and so it was just mad crazy. There's more to the story, but that's just like the quick of it. You can take my word for it. But anyways, so yeah, so then that's kind of like how I felt just about life is maybe my life. I mean, is maybe I'm watching too many TV shows and movies, and there's a deeper reason why. I don't know if anyone listening finds themselves immersed in maybe too much entertainment, if there is such a thing. Let me know. Echoes and Escapades fan mail at gmail.com. Send me an email. Tell me your story. But anyways, maybe you could help me. Maybe I could help somebody, but maybe somebody could help me too. That would be like really cool. So yeah, that's kind of like about, just like myself a little bit more. People have like different anxieties, paranoias, fears, and I think what we could really take from that is that it just, that it sucks, but sometimes it's okay just to be okay. That's a good starting point. Okay is a good starting point. And then from there, let's hope it's only up. Speaking of Up, that was another sad movie, but it was one of those like happy sad. I think it was more so just the relationship, the love between, the old man and the old woman. The man and wife. They met as children in this adventure seekings club. And then they had an entire life together. She passes away, and he survives, and then he has like one last great adventure with the young boy, and then they wrangle a bunch of balloons, they tie it to his house, and he sails through the sky, in search of his personal legend. It's pretty beautiful. So yeah, that's a good children's movie. Or anybody movie. That's like an any age movie, but it is great. Now I know a little bit. I touched base a little bit on my childhood epilepsy, and I realized that maybe, someone might want to hear a little more about it. But then again, maybe not. I don't know. But here it is. So what I had was called benign Rolandic, and it's the kind that you thankfully grow out of, right? And it only happens when you're sleeping. But for me, as I mentioned earlier, it oddly also only happened where Edgar Allan Poe lived, because where I lived in New York was the same site where Edgar Allan Poe lived, like his farmhouse. And it's there's rumors out there in the wind that he as well had epilepsy, or some sort of mental something going on, extrasensory, and kids can pick up on that. Kids and dogs, oh shit, you know what? Kids and dogs can pick up on ghosts and the paranormal, and maybe, I don't know what else is out there, but apparently children and animals